Flex your business with an American Express Business Gold Card. You'll earn 4 times membership rewards points on your top 2 eligible spending categories, like transit and electronics, each month, on up to $150K in combined purchases per year. Plus, you can now earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at AmericanExpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold, built for business by American Express.
Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race recap show for season 17, episode 1, titled Squirrel Games. My name is Joe Batanz, and I am joined, as always, by one scintillating co-host from the podcast. Bravo, bravo, effing bravo. Please say...
All you see is yummy, delicious pizza face.
To Mr. Nathan Patrick Brown. Hello, Nathan.
Hey, Joe.
How are you doing?
I'm good. We're back in it, baby. 2025. Let's do this. Fuck yeah.
I realized I dropped an announcement on the public feed today. And in dropping the announcement, I didn't realize what a landmark year and episode this is, because this is the 10-year anniversary of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. We started with season 7 back in 2015. And now here we are 10 years later.
Did you ever think that would ever happen? Like 10 years after you started, that you should still be doing it or watching the show, or the show would be on?
I don't even think I thought that far ahead. And it's also, did I think that the show would be on 52 weeks a year, multiple times a week? I didn't think any of that stuff. It was crazy. Anyway, like I said, we dropped a little bit of a announcement on the public feed. Now, if you're a Patreon supporter or listening somewhere else that isn't a public feed, you don't worry about this, right? But we're changing things up, Nathan. Like I said, we're in some tricky times, and we need to we need to really build up the resources here at Afterthought Media. And, the podcasting ad business has dried up. So it's the only way we're making money now really is through Patreon. And so we can't really afford to put the show just for free the way we used to. So what you're going to hear today on a public feed, not on the Patreon feed, is a truncated version of the show. If you want to hear the full version, which, by the way, you get a day early, and no commercials, and now full length. Which, by the way, at the end, Nathan, let's recap what we talked about so they'll know what's in this episode. Mm-hmm. But if you want that full length, go to patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. Anyway, in the announcement, I talked about how we're doing like a discount on the executive tier and exclusive tier. If you're one of the lucky few people who made it in time to get a free month-long membership of exclusive tier, there's all that stuff. Somebody wrote to me and said, like, well, what level just gets the fucking show? I don't need a whole fucking... And I'm like, oh, you know what? If you just want Drag Race Recap, the full thing, you don't care about Just Between Us Girls, you don't care about anything like that, the full show, it's $5 a month, premium level subscription, patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. So that's available too. But I will say, though, for, a month at least, do the executive tier for $7, for $2 more.
Try it out.
See if you like this Just Between Us Girls.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Cancel it, create a fake email address, sign up again.
What are you saying? Don't say that. It's a horrible thing to say. I'm going to bleep that out. You said that's a horrible... I did think about that, though, and I was like, whatever. But maybe there'll be some people who stick around. I think we put out a great product. I personally think we put out a great product. And people at Patreon should be very happy. But, all right, anyway, any other news, Nathan? It's been a while since they've heard you. If they're just a public feed listener, they haven't heard from you since, 9 months ago or something.
Oh, well, my dad died. So it's been shit. So I'm looking forward to having something fun to talk about.
Yeah, you know, and this is such a depressing thing to say right now, but I did think about you around the holidays.
It wasn't
You know?
fun.
No.
Yeah. But again, that's why I like that I can talk about Drag Race for a little bit.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. As people, we're not going to really talk about this in the public feed, but to sort of really emphasize the dire straits that we're in, Patreon people know when we talk about this openly on Patreon, but I have a job. You know, I got a second. I should actually say, because now I'm being like my family and friends who are like, Joe got a job. And I was like, I always had a job. I have a second job now. Right? And they go, oh, look who finally has a job. And I was like, no, you don't understand something. I've always had, now I have two, like for instance, I just got home from work. It's 11 p.m. on a Sunday night and I'm having to do a full show. And I woke up this morning, worked all morning. Okay. Let's get something straight. Saturday, I worked all morning. Then I had to go to a wedding. Okay. Got home from the wedding. Worked. Mm-hmm. Woke up this morning. Worked on the show again. I think, you know what it is, Nathan? And I've said this before. I think people have this mistaken impression that they think that the show just happens. Like that.
No.
You know what?
No.
Even 10 years ago, this wasn't the case. 10 years ago, there was a whole process. But I just go like, well, I watched the episode. Let's turn the microphone on, and the show just happens. No, there's we've gotten a producer back again. You know, an afterthought producer back again. We've gotten everything's back to hours and hours and hours of work to go into this. And it's a job, and it's even more a job now that I have a second job. Everybody who listens,
real
knows me. But what I was gonna say though is that second job, as much as I love the second job and whatever, it's really crystallized how special it is what we do. It really did, and right. I think in one of the first day I actually worked. You know, I have a job that can be kind of sad. I work in a job that could be sad. Mm-hmm. And there was a sad thing that I realized when I was at work one day, and at lunch I just wept. And while eating my fucking McDonald's cheeseburger and stuff like that, and crying. And I was like, well, I want to listen to something that's not depressing.
Yeah.
And I put on, it was during the holidays, and we put out some reruns of Hallmark Homos. And I listened to Hallmark Homos, and it's been so long since that episode, since that show, that it didn't sound, I don't remember doing it. So it's like a whole new thing. And I was like, I wasn't laughing because you can't laugh and cry, right? But it was one of these things where I was like, it cheered me up. And I was able to listen on the other side of it. You know, someone wrote to me today after the announcement of the public feed. And they were essentially like, look, they were very nice, right? But the email was essentially like, fine, I'll pay. You've helped me through some tough times, right? And I was like, oh, it is something. We do help people through tough times.
Change a lot of lives.
Change a lot of lives. What the fuck? What the fuck did you say about Michelle got so fucking angry? Oh, by the way, I've been meaning to ask you. Uh-huh. What did you think? I know how we've got 10 minutes right now. Okay. But I need to know this. What did you think of this Real Housewife and the Jersey Mikes at the airport drama?
Wait, what? I don't know if I know this.
You don't know about this drama? It just happened. Some Real Housewife from Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Oh, Jennifer Aiden?
Yes.
What did she do? So I saw some story being like Jennifer Aiden in trouble at an airport, and I was like, well, what else is new?
So she went to a Jersey Mike's at an airport. It was very busy because people want to eat their fucking face at the fucking goddamn airport, right? And they were already doing her order, right? But then she realized, I don't know how, I'm not that into the story, but somehow finds out she has to order another sandwich, right? They're already making her food. And so she says to the people behind her, like, oh, do you mind if I get another sandwich? Is that okay? Because the employees are, no, bitch, we have a fucking huge line. You've already put your order in. We're done, right? And the people were like, no, it's kind of rude.
Yeah.
And she just fucking goes off and she's like, I could buy and sell all of you. I'm so fucking rich. Fuck you. It calls the employee like an 80-year-old employee and she's rich and she could buy it. And her husband's a doctor and all this shit. So I don't know anything about this bitch, but I was like, dude, she's a mess. What's your story to her?
She's a monster.
Oh, she's even a monster on the show.
Well, this show, The Real Housewives, creates monsters. They might not sign on to the show being fully monstrous, but give them a season or two in that echo chamber and just being like trained to fight and go for the low blows, especially on Jersey. They turn into horrible, horrible people. And she is up there with one of the worst. And I'm usually like on her side in the actual show because I hate Melissa Gorga, but she's indefensible. It's like, if you're really that hot shit, why aren't you in an airline lounge instead of this Jersey Mike's?
So here's what I'm learning. When we do Drag Race, I go, what do you think of this episode, Nathan? You're like, well, I don't know. It's fine. And then I go, oh, did you see this chick didn't buy? She goes on a whole thing. So this is a good commercial for this Bravo, effing Bravo.
Yeah, check us out. We don't have a Patreon, but you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Bravo, effing Bravo. You're going to delete that out?
I've never heard a plug that had every letter of the alphabet in the link. You're going to hit every key. You're going to hit every key on your keyboard just to buy you a coffee.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, why don't we do this? Why don't we take a break? And I promise when we get back from the break, we're going to talk about the rest. We're going to talk about the episode. We'll be back right after this. All right, it's 2025. We all have our resolutions. We want to change our bodies. We want to change our look. We want to change how we feel in our clothes. So if you're looking for a weight loss solution that actually works, Weight Loss by Hers provides access to GLP-1 medications with personalized care to help you hit your goals. I'm going to tell you, I've been working out. I've been doing the aerobic and the anaerobic and the strength training and the Pilates and the this. And I'm still finding it hard, even with changing my diet, to lose weight. And what better way to help kickstart that than by using Weight Loss by Hers and getting access to those GLP-1 injections. Hers is transforming women's healthcare by providing access to affordable weight loss treatment plans delivered straight to your door. It's a holistic weight loss program. They offer personalized solutions, including compounded GLP-1 injections, and they feature the same active ingredients as Ozempic and Wegovy or any kind of oral medication kits you might find out there. Here's how it works. You go online and fill out an intake form. Then a licensed medical provider will determine what plan is best for you. If they prescribe anything, your program includes medication, ongoing care, and online support, and all at one low cost. Weight loss plans are more affordable through Hers with compounded GLP-1 injections starting at $165 per month, with a 12-month plan paid up front for new subscribers. No hidden fees, no membership fees. So if you've been struggling with your weight loss journey, it's time to find you the best option that works for you through Hers. Start your initial free online visit today at forhers.com/crime. That's FORHERS.com/crime for your personalized weight loss treatment options. forhers.com/crime. Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Actual price depends on product and plan purchased. And we We are back, and as promised, we're going to talk right about that. We're going to jump right in. This week, 14 new girls pranced into the workroom. Before they got the green light, they had to first pass through a Squid Game-style gauntlet, complete with the cream pies and popular former contestants. Lana Jarre wins the surprise mini-challenge. Meanwhile, half of the cast competed in part 1 of a talent show. Later, Jewel Sparkles and Susie Toot were in the top 2, while Keisha Forgot was placed in the bottom. She must wait until next week, though, to learn who the other bottom contestant will be. Finally, Jules and Susie duked it out in a lip-sync battle for the prize. In the end, Susie Toot was named the winner of the first challenge of season 17. Nathan Patrick Brown, we have a few questions here. What did you think of that lip-sync? Did the right queen win the lip-sync, and was the right queen placed in the bottom?
Yeah, it was all right.
All right. Well, anyway, that's the public feed episode of the show.
The lip sync. Okay. I don't think we can talk about the lip sync without acknowledging that terrible, terrible Katy Perry song that I don't think anyone could have. You could have had Georges up on that dance floor doing a terrible job to that song because it's a bad song. I
want to stop right here and talk about this. And we will get into this in the show. Okay. But I want to say I was a Katy Perry hater before it was cool. I remember years and years ago, she was on Howard Stern when the I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It song came on. It was just come out. She was on there. I'm like, this bitch is really fucking annoying, right? And I think I will say, it's almost like a bell curve. There was a brief thing where I'm like, okay, well, I guess she has her finger on the pulse or something like that, around Firework or something. No. California Boys, or is that what it's called? Or California Girls or whatever. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Well, the reason I say boys is this is how old I am. Actually, the wedding where I went to yesterday took place at this location. But a bunch of fucking faggoty twinks went to this beach and did a video for that song at the beach, and it went viral, whatever that was at the time.
I remember that, yeah.
And I
wow,
hated
that beach is hallowed ground.
Yeah,
it's nice that you paid your respects there.
Thank you. And so that was the peak Katy Perry Firework Roar era, right? Mm-hmm. And then I gave her a little bit of a pass, but then ever since then, starting with like American Idol or whatever, I'm like, wig. I just found this bitch fucking the wig. That whole conversation, I'm like, this bitch is just fucking cringe. She is just cringe personified. She's cringe in a bottle.
Yes. And whenever in this episode she's like, "Oh, my kitty cats," I was like, Is that the best name she can come up with? Kitty cats? And she kept saying it. Like, stop trying to make kitty cat happen.
Wouldn't you say like Katie Ladies or something like that, or my Lady Perrys, or I don't know what he would say, right?
Lady Perrys is fun.
Yeah. But anyway, the point is, so I didn't like this song.
No,
but I didn't know whether it was just coming from the hate I just have for her. Because even, I'll be honest with you, what's that one? Is the roar in that song and stuff like that?
Yeah, roar.
Like, I guess they're fine as if I'm in a supermarket, but they sound like they were made by AI.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
It's why I couldn't get on board with this and Juliet musical, because it's got a few Katy Perry songs, and Roar is like the big fucking 11 o'clock number. And I'm like, I'm sorry. This isn't I Dreamed a Fucking Dream. This is Roar by Katy Perry. I'm not getting on my feet for this.
Well, everyone's mad at this Dr. Luke. We're like being abusive. Well, the person he abused the most with us with his shitty music that he made. Oh. During the height of the drama. I'm actually friends with. I shouldn't be saying this in here. Never mind. Hold on. Future Joe. Hold on. Let me write this thing here. I can't even say that. Yeah, I can't even say that because I just said how the relationship is. Anyway, I have a connection to Dr. Luke. Okay.
I bet you do.
And I've been at a couple of parties where he's been there, and I stare at him, but not because he's famous. I'm like, he was mean to Kesha. And I don't know how I feel about that. I could be cool with it.
I like Kesha.
Saved a lot of lives.
What'd you say about Kesha?
Yeah.
Okay, so the lip sync song sucked, therefore the lip sync itself wasn't that great. I thought Jules probably had it. I mean, I
Yes,
liked
100%.
that Susie was doing a tap dance. Like,
Yeah.
I love the Broadway faggotry.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, I thought Jules was much better.
So
What were your other questions?
wait, let's talk about this right now because I do have thoughts on this. So this is in my notes, and I still hold to this, which is on paper. Here's the mistake, okay? On paper, Jewel Sparkles won that lip sync, okay? She had the look, she had the theming right, she just did it correctly. And I will say I agree with the decision to give the win to Susie Toot.
Okay.
Here is the fatal flaw. Here is the error, okay? Even though winning the first episode seems attractive and the 5,000 doulas seems attractive, Susie Toot should have thrown this lip sync and not won. Why? Because she has one fucking joke. Okay? And she just wasted it on. She can't do that foot tap thing anymore. It's done.
Yeah.
This is her barrel roll. This is her, whatever. Yeah. She's the detox with the mouth wiggle, right?
Yeah, but she had tap shoes on. Do you think she would have tried that in another challenge? She wins.
Oops.
Do you think she'd attempt to do a tap if she wasn't wearing taps?
I'm telling you, this Susie Toot has no other tricks up her sleeve. This is it. So now, when she's in trouble, she has nowhere to go. She's just done it.
Yeah.
And the win isn't worth it. The win was not worth it.
Well, I don't know, because I ranked her lowest.
Well,
with the Beat the Queens, I think. And so now that she's won, I'm like, wow, what do I fucking know?
No, you know what? You're right. Maybe this was a good thing. Because okay, now I'm going to rethink this. I'm going past it. Because this bitch isn't going anywhere. At least she'll go home with $5,000 and say that she won the first episode. Yeah. All right.
Even though she's like, I'm now the front runner. I'm like, no, you're still going home soon.
Yeah, bitch. Right into the front door.
Enjoy it. I'm glad you've got
right
one
out
win
the
under
door
your
back
belt.
home. Yeah. Here's the deal. Ultimately, look, okay, I can't talk about it right now. We'll talk about her later. I'm starting to fall into this. The public feed's not paying for this.
Mm.
The other question, did the right queen win the lip sync? Yeah, we talked about that, right?
We talked about that, yeah.
Was the right queen placed in the bottom?
Yeah. You know what? Probably, yes. I do think that's a tough one because I wasn't impressed with her performance. I was glad she did the whole not a lip sync thing. But then when she's like, at least I did an actual talent and not a lip sync. And I'm like, yeah, that was the case 5 years ago. But in the past few years, everyone just does a lip sync. Have you watched the show Tamer? So I was a bit like, I don't know. I don't really care who was in the bottom, honestly. It's the Queens ranked it. I didn't have any input, so who gives a shit?
You're right. They just don't like her or she doesn't have enough friends because this Jewel Sparkle shouldn't have been there. I think there were horrible things about her, right? At least this person, what's her name? Acacia. Oh, makes that funny. Acacia forgot. At least she did something different. I actually gave her big points. I didn't even listen to I don't care about the fucking song. I don't care about it. I don't care about her stupid song, right? But the fact that she went out there, she played guitar. Let me do this. Let me just talk about this one more time. Because I did a big rant about this on Rulaska Thoughts. But when I do the Rulaska Thoughts monologues and I sound all like newscast, I'm like, but no, I'm just going to have a conversation with you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to establish this. And I've established it before, but I'm going to establish it now in conversation. Yes, doing drag is a talent. It's a talent. It's a difficult talent. It's an accomplishment, right? and to be able to do the illusion and the makeup and the dress, and then if you actually really just imagine what it's like to have to do all those things and do it with padding and leggings and tights and heels and stuff like that, it's hard. I'm not saying it's not hard. I'm not saying it's not a talent. It is a talent because this is a talent competition show that I've been doing for 10 years now about people who have this talent. Okay? But if they have a talent show, well, then the talent has to be not that talent because everybody... I used this example last year. I'll use it again. It's like if we were watching this Top Chef. And I don't know why Top Chef would do this. Or why don't we go with Great British Baking Show? If one of those shows, they like... We're going to do the weird thing, I don't know why, but we're going to do a talent show, right?
Yeah.
And okay. And then every single fucking person except one person came out here. My talent is baking a cake.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, bitch, we got that. You're on Top Chef. You're on Great British Baking Show, right?
Yes.
So I'm not saying these people and what they're doing isn't talented, but I'm like, we've seen this.
I think you just need to not get hung up on the whole like talent word.
Then call it,
a variety show, which they sometimes do. I know.
No, a variety show because there's no variety. It's the same fucking thing.
But here's the thing: the queens themselves as contestants shouldn't be thinking like, "Oh, I got to show something different. I got to show talent." It's to be like, "No, you've got 30 seconds in front of RuPaul to make an impression. Focus on that. So don't do something out of the box if it's boring. If you want to show that you can also sing and play guitar quite well, like, okay, make it an interesting song. Make it funny." But she didn't make it funny. She didn't make it interesting. She didn't make it memorable. She was doing a third-rate
Trixie, which is weird because Trixie's a third-rate Trixie.
And so my question is, if you're trying to, if that's what you're putting forward as your best self in this competition, then it's not good enough. Well, I would rather someone just skate by doing like Lucky Stars with like fucking lemonade head, shooting shit out of her tits like someone else has done before. I'd rather that.
I agree with you. It is, to be honest with you, it's asinine to ask these people who've shown up and that this is their talent to now bring more talent. I agree with that, but it's still the challenge, regardless of whether it's fair or not. Like I'm saying, call it a branding challenge. Call it a lip sync branding challenge, right? It's time for the lip sync branding show. And then you have to come out and you have to do a self-produced track about, about how wonderful you are. And I'm fine with that. That's great because that's exactly what this is, except for people like Susie Toot who came out and tap danced and this girl did Trixie, in case you forgot. And there's even the people, I don't know. Okay, well, so why don't we call it a day there? We're just going to call it a day there. And we'll just jump in again. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump right into the show. If you're in the public feed, if you want to hear the rest of us, go over to patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. Join at the premium level and above. I want to mention, and it's in the show notes, there's an offer code for 30% off executive for the first month. I would take advantage of that. And check us out. And you'll hear the rest of the episode. But we'll come back in a little bit, and you're going to hear us talk at the end. We'll talk about what we talked about. But for everyone at Patreon, let's move on.
Hey, Philistines. Please enjoy a few curated moments from Drag Race Recap. To unlock the full episode, head over to patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia and join at the premium level and above to hear what you're missing. For now, here are a few excerpts.
And I saw they're going to do a badonka dunk, and you have to dunk Michelle.
That's great.
That's fantastic. It's so clever.
We've come a long way from Breast World. Like this has been pretty good.
Look, here's the deal though. Here's the deal. And Dragula is the same way too. Is they sometimes will hit it out of the park for the first couple episodes. And you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like think back to the All Winner season.
Then you've got like Ross Matthews interviewing a pickle or some shit.
Okay, the All Winner season, and also remember the first one with the first International All Stars, the one that had like Thailand girl and I don't know who, right? Remember how great that one was too in the first few episodes, and then because the queens got rid of each other,
then it went downhill.
Yeah, was that All Stars?
Well, no, All Stars, all winners, they didn't get rid of each
All
other.
Stars winners. But what?
But the challenges did get shit after
They
a while.
all
They're like,
blurred
do a
together.
TikTok video.
Oh, Global All Stars. Wasn't it the first Global All Stars with Thailand Girl and what's her name again?
Global All Stars was just like a couple of months ago with like Queen
Oh.
Kong. You mean UK
International
versus the world, maybe?
Oh, UK versus the world. Maybe the first UK versus the world. The one with Thailand Girl on that?
Is that a drag queen name, or are you just saying a queen from Thailand?
It's a queen from Thailand. I don't know
Oh,
her
yeah,
name.
Pangina.
Yeah, Pangina Heels, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
The first few episodes.
The first few episodes, yeah.
Yeah, and then it just kind of, it went back. It again, not to harken back, but it became,
Yeah.
And so don't ever underestimate the power of Drag Race to disappoint you. But you're right. It does look promising in the first couple of episodes. Same thing with Dracula. Remember when they did the Titans and they did that very first thing with the trap door? And I thought it was the greatest fucking thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. I was like, this is literally the gaggiest thing I've ever seen. And then it just went... Again, I'm not gonna. I moved out of that soundboard already.
A part of me was kind of hoping that they would kill them, like in Squid Game.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a cream pie to the face and actually like a sniper's rifle, I'd be like, that's kind of fun.
Well, there is a sort of like camp thing that like they're taking out Trinity the Tuck, but these are the Susie Toot is the one that makes it through.
This is very funny.
All this. Lydia B. Collins. I wrote. Wait. Who is this? David Lynch influence? I'll wait and see. Seems like just something to say. Not even super convinced on John Waters. Oh, yeah. Because she's like, I'm just super in my drag. You can see Tim Burton, David Lynch, and John Waters. And I was like, okay. John Waters, I guess I don't see it in your drag right now. I saw Tim Burton because it looked like a fucking Nightmare Before Christmas just walked off the screen.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see something with the John Waters. I just want to see, but here's the deal. The reason I don't think it doesn't seem like it would make sense is Tim Burton has a distinct look. And I'll give it her this, right? She had it. This is for Lydia B. Collins, right? On her entrance room look. Okay. And his look is very stylized, very precise. To recreate that, there's an art. But John Waters, his whole thing is just how fucking trashy and gross and disgusting and just not good you are to the point that it's camp.
Mm-hmm.
So that you're a mess, okay? Like literally, if John Waters, and I hope this person doesn't get offended, but if John Waters ever met Lori Roggenkamp, I think he would like, oh my God, I've been re-inspired, right?
Who would be offended there, John Waters or Lori?
I don't want to say. But it's John Waters. And then David Lynch, and I'm a fan of David Lynch, but what does that mean? David Lynch's movies, as weird as they are, in terms of looks, with the exception of like Eraserhead, pretty grounded in reality. The movies aren't, but the people aren't. They don't have a look. You go, then the film style has a look, but I wouldn't say there's anybody except for again Eraserhead, or unless you're gonna do the Elephant Man. There's nobody in a David Lynch film that you're like, oh, she's hearkening back to Mulholland Drive. What? Thank you.
Especially because her big thing is just that the B stands for butthole. Like, I don't think
really
she's...
her thing, or is that? I thought that was a RuPaul. I don't know what it is.
I thought she said it like 6 times this episode, so I'm like, she's trying to make it something. And I'm like, is that the kookiness that she's bringing? Like, the B is a butthole.
Arietti.
No thoughts.
I wrote, I'm very conceptual. What's the concept? Oh, people say Seattle now like it's great. Not the Irene name drop. All right. Look at this. Arietti goes on there and she's like, I'm related to Irene Dubois. Who's bragging about that?
The most famous drag queen out of Seattle, Irene Dubois.
Yeah. But now there's a thing now where people are like, I'm from Seattle. Look, okay, Jinx, Bendela, They're great. They're from Seattle. There's other great ones too. I don't remember their names. You know, they all look. It's all a skinny white
about
blonde
it.
girl, right? What's so great about Seattle?
Well, she says it's a fun and flirty city. Apparently.
Nothing good comes out of Seattle. Yeah, I fucking said it.
Yeah, including Starbucks. The coffee's shit.
Jewel Sparkles. Oh, I just looked at my note. Oh my God. Okay, this is gonna be the world's longest episode. This verkackte thing, that whole thing, right? It needs to stop.
The what?
When she kept going, ding,
Yeah,
ding,
no, yeah. That needs
and
to stop.
winking, and she did it throughout the fucking episode.
Yeah. Can
And
we
this is just
respect
from
the fourth
workroom.
wall, please?
What does this mean? Oh, okay, I get it. I wrote, she loves Ariana Grande? No. She fucking looked like goddamn Ariana Grande, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they go, she goes, I also like Priscilla Presley. So she likes that look, right? That like sort of like 1960s look. Okay. And then someone goes, how do you know who Priscilla Presley is? You're 22. Well, bitch, first of all, Priscilla Presley's pretty fucking famous, especially that look and being associated with Elvis Presley.
Kind of famous, yeah.
And there's also
And there was a
like,
movie, what, last year?
Like a year or two ago about her. That was fucking,
Yeah.
that movie was so boring, that movie.
I never saw it.
It was so boring. I almost went to the bathroom and died on the toilet.
Oh.
Thank you. Too soon? All right, Lana Jarre. Oh, I don't know, but this is what I wrote. But I wrote, is anyone intimidated by Lux Noir London?
I liked Lux.
Lux Noir London wore a pink hat the entire time in her confessional. Who the fuck? And you know what, too? Let me tell you this. This Lux Noir London, she thinks she has such a social media presence. She just goes on and is just a fucking cunt. And then she thinks she's clever, right? And she has obvious alliances. So, like, she'll criticize someone for the same thing that she praises someone for. I don't like this Lux Noir London. And you know what? The inches weren't, the hair wasn't that long. Thank you. I'm not intimidated by her. Who's intimidated by Lux? She didn't even win. Who's intimidated by Lux Noir London? All right. Well, now we're welcoming back the public feed. By the way, we are now, right now, I don't know how it'll end up, on the Patreon, but at 126, Nathan, we talked for basically we've been gone for like an hour from the public feed.
Got cancelled by the country of Mexico.
Oh yeah, I insulted all the Mexicans and I feel like Katy Perry could have a lawsuit against me.
Oh, the kitty cats are not happy. All three of them are not happy.
Strange, a long conversation about the pre-code era of film.
Yes.
Was there anything else we discussed? I mean, look, he's talking about the whole episode. I feel there was another long rant in here that I'm forgetting.
Sure there was. I'm sure there was.
I feel there was another weird long, like, okay, I'm going to say this right here. I don't remember what it was. I don't know. Alrighty. Back on the main stage and after the Rated Queen segment, RuPaul announces that Acacia Forgotten is in the bottom two, but must wait until next week to find out who the other bottom queen is. Then there will be a battle to determine who stays on the show. Later, Jewel Sparkles and Susie Toot are named the top two queens of the week and must battle it out in a lip sync battle for the... That's stupid. Battle it out in a lip sync battle for the win. The song, Woman's World by Katy Perry. In the end, Susie Toot was named the winner of this week's challenge. Next week, the remaining queens will perform in the second part of Drag Queens Got Talent. Nathan Patrick Brown, any final thoughts on the episode?
No, I think we did a fantastic summary.
We did. I think we did too. Let me see. I did right here, Katy Perry lip sync to her own song. Once again.
Oh, we know what
I hate
that means.
that. Very few. In fact, she might be
failed.
the person of the biggest name to have done that. Usually,
That is so embarrassing.
For a long time, it was only RuPaul did it. No other person did it. Okay.
Yeah.
Then, like last season, that Becky G or whatever her name is, she did it. But I was like, who the fuck is Becky G, right? Then, now Katy Perry's done that. But this is just more proof that she's so fucking cringe.
Mm-hmm.
She's so cringy. Anyway, do I have any other notes I didn't say here? Yeah, go ahead.
Also, terrible news today about the Vivian. Rest in peace to the Vivian.
We're going to discuss this in detail on Alaska Thoughts.
Okay, good.
But, yeah. But,
horrible news.
Way to bring down the show, Nathan.
There it is.
I will say, and this is sort of a hint at what's to come here, is, first of all, actually, Nathan, remember that thing I told you earlier today? The news about the Vivian was a big trigger in that, too.
Yeah.
And not because I'm a big fan of the Vivian, but whatever. What's the whole thing? Then, what's that noise?
It just started raining really heavy.
Oh, and what the fuck is going on in your country? Anyway, we got to get out of here.
You know, it can rain in summer, Joe. Like that.
The point is there were two wild responses on Twitter. One was from Lady Bunny. One was from Tyra Sanchez. Okay.
Yes.
And it's weird because what Lady Bunny wrote, while offensive, was drag. That was just old school drag type humor. And I think the Vivian would have found it funny. What Tyra Sanchez wrote was just fucking vile and disgusting. And we'll talk about this on Alaska Thoughts. And by the way, for people, public feed people, patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia, you'll get the full episode. We're right at 1:30. So let's get out of here. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Be sure to join us next weekend every week as we continue to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct each brand new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17. So for Nathan Patrick Brown and myself,
in Toot we trust.
Thank you for listening to Drag Race Recap. Have something to say? Leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/afterthoughtmedia. You can also email us at dragracerecap@afterthought.media. For more Drag Race and LGBTQ content, support us over at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. This podcast was produced by Luke Stamen. Drag Race Recap is an Afterthought Media podcast.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous two-year contracts, they said, "What the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass?" So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.